Oh, so I'm Christy Seeley. I'm the director of EWP. I thought I would do a recording for those of you who were unable to jump on for the Zoom meeting last week. Just want to go over some things that we talked about in that meeting and help give you a peace of mind about what you may expect this coming fall. So, the good news is we are having face to face instruction come September 2nd, which was our scheduled first day of school. There will be some changes, but I want you to be aware that these can change any day now. We are licensed through ODJFS, and they have implemented some new rules that we must follow. Being licensed by them. And one of those rules has to deal with ratios. So currently, the ratios have been changed to 9 to 1. Before COVID, ratios for 3-year-olds was 12 to 1, and ratios for 4 and 5-year-olds was 14 to 1. Now, we've always run our classrooms with 14 students and 2 teachers, but with the new rules, we will be unable to do that. It will be one teacher with 9 students. What we did is we created more classrooms. We are lucky that we have the space in our building that we are able to do that. So everyone that is enrolled has a spot next year. I was asked the question, will you be in the class you wanted your child to be in, whether that be kinderstart or whatnot? The answer is yes. Your child will be in the class that you chose for them. As far as if you registered for morning, you'll be in morning still. If you registered for afternoons, you'll be in afternoons. If you register for all day, you have an all day spot. So you don't have to worry about that. The teachers, as far as teachers goes, we will be hiring additional teachers if we have to continue with this ratio. And then, of course, the teachers that you all know and love, they will be here teaching classes as well. We will have extra teachers available during the day to help those in the classroom. So if there's, an potty incident or anything like that, they can be there to assist that teacher and help them any way that they can. Now, that is the worst case scenario. I've heard rumors that ratios may change. We don't know. So we will just have to watch that. And then I will make a final decision before August. So I will, of course, communicate that with you as soon as I know. So that is worst case. We'll have more classes. So instead of the 10 that we typically have, we'll have 15 next year. Um, so with that, we also want to limit the amount of people that are in the building at one time. In the past, we always did pickup where parents could come in. We are going to start a car line this year for pickup, which I think everyone's pretty happy about because it'll make things easy on you with those little ones. But we will do car line for drop off and pickup, and we will have staggered times for that. I'm not sure exactly which class your child will be in at this point. I just have rough estimates and things like that. But I can tell you that as soon as I make a finalized decision, I can let you know their times and things like that. So I in my email that I sent out, I did explain like the earliest time is 8:30. The latest time a child would be here in the morning would probably be around noon. The earliest time for afternoon could be like 11:30. The latest time could be 3:45, just depending on how that staggering goes. I can tell you that all day classes start around 8:45, and then go until 2:30, 2:45, around there. But again, this can all change. So if you have an issue or you're starting to worry, I know they haven't decided what's happening in the elementary schools yet, but I'm happy to work with you the best that I possibly can, because we understand we've got to work together as a team on this, right? So drop off. Some of the other things that we will implement, we will have 2 drop-off sites. We'll have the Elizabeth Wayne side, which is currently where Kinderstart does their pickup or their drop-off. And then we'll, of course, do the playground side as well. We will have myself and Miss Tina, who will be my assistant director next year, will be taking the kiddos out of the car. We have a thermometer. I guess it's like a thermometer gun. We will point that at their forehead and take their temperature, all the children's temperature, before they come into the school. If they have a temperature of 100 or more, they will not be able to come to school. They must be fever free for 24 hours without medication. This is where really I need your help. Because our priority is to keep the kids safe and healthy. So if your child is sick, experiencing any of the symptoms, please keep them home. Now I know there's going to be colds and things like that. You have to be the best judgment of that. I understand. I mean, they're going to come down with other things too, right? We all get that. But if they do have that fever, I really need you to keep them home, not give them medication, and then send them to school. I know that you're all great about that, but I just want to make sure everyone knows they do have to be fever free without medication for 24 hours before they can come back. Which brings up the question. Oh, and then the other thing I'll do is I'll ask you questions like, does anyone in your house have COVID and things like that. If somebody in your house comes down with COVID, we're going to ask that you quarantine your child until, that time period is up, that 2-week time period. As far as if a case of COVID comes down at the school, so what we'll do is we'll handle that as communicable disease like we do now. We're going to inform you that there has been a case and what to look for. Our intention is not to shut down the whole school. We will have to contact the health department because that's one of the rules that we have, and contact ODGFS, and then we'll have to go with their guidelines. But from what I have read, they're treating it just like communicable disease, and we inform you, and then you watch for those symptoms. And again, if your child comes down with those symptoms, we're going to ask that you especially if there's a case that has been reported, keep them at home. If school shuts down again, which I really don't think it will, but if it were to, we would continue with our schooling through virtual preschool like we did last year. So we'll have videos, we'll do Zoom meetings with the kids. We'll try to keep those connections and that their education still moving along during that time period until we can go face to face again. So I don't think that will happen, but just in case, that is our procedure. We will we'll monitor that, and we will continue to have school. So just so everyone is aware. Then I've been asked, will they have specials? Will we have special events next year? So the answer is yes. We will have specials. It may be virtual. Mrs. Slua might be on a screen to, again, limit exposure and things like that, mixing of groups. We're still talking about that. We're figuring that out. The other thing is the events that we have. Like we've always had a Valentine dance and different things that our wonderful parents organization puts on for us. I don't know the answer right now. We could as the year progresses, but as of today, those will be tentatively canceled until we get the go ahead that we can have, larger gatherings. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that things improve and that we will be able to do that at some point. We also have a stricter sanitation procedures. As you know, we clean constantly. We use, bleach, and we're cleaning and wiping things down all the time. We'll be doing that still. We are committed to keeping the room healthy and safe for your child. So, we will be really monitoring that and cleaning in between classes and, after class and before class, and just really keeping things extra clean. There'll also be a lot more hand washing, like as soon as we've always done this. As soon as they enter the building, they wash their hands, washing their hands when they put their hands in their mouth. So really no different than what we always do. But there will be, that'll be a priority for us, is that's hand washing procedures. So I think I've gone through everything that I wanted to. I just want to remind you that all of this can change next week. I don't think the ratios will get any lower. I think they'll only get larger from here, and then we'll make decisions based on that as that comes. And I will keep you informed. I'm going to be putting together the lists on Cambu. Now, I want to get everybody in there so I can communicate with you better. And I'm just going to plug names in. So that does not mean that's your class if that's the one you have been placed in. I don't want anyone to get upset or worried about that. I'm just going to plug in names so I can utilize that system so I can communicate with you better. I will be sending home or emailing you any forms that need to be filled out, and my goal is to have that out to you by the middle of July, and then or maybe even sooner, just depending on once everything's plugged in and I've got that all together. So be on the lookout for that. I also will be updating the calendar, so that will be on there. But school will start September 2nd, which is what we had planned from the get-go. It's the Wednesday before Labor Day. And again, we will figure out the best way to do our meet and greet for your child. If your child has a lot of anxiety right now, especially with COVID, and coming to school, or even if you have a lot of anxiety about it, please feel free to call me. I'm happy to meet you up at the school so that we can show your child so they can become comfortable as well. I just want you to know that I'm available for you. I think that is everything that I had on my list. I've recorded this a couple of times. The last one I thought I did great, and I didn't record. So I hope that I've answered all of your questions that you had. Please feel free to email me at preschool@stpaulsmommy.org, or call me on my cell, or you can call up the school. I check that pretty regularly, the voicemail up there, and I'm looking forward to seeing you this fall and having your child with us. And please know that their safety and health and development are our number one priority, and it is our goal to give them the best educational experience that we can, and that includes developmentally appropriate practices. So we want to make sure that they have a very normal setting come the school year. I think I mentioned this, but I just want to say it again because I've done this video several times, but I've been asked, are we requiring them to wear masks? We are not requiring them to wear masks to school. If you want your child to wear a mask, you're welcome to send them in one. So, we'll do our best to keep that on them as well. So again, please email me if you have any questions, and I am looking forward to seeing you in the fall. Thank you.